A Simulation Football League Sunday night doubleheader kicks off in scenic South Florida. It's a critical Week 8 matchup as 2, 3, and 4 teams enter the eye, trying to stay afloat in the Season 15 playoff picture. And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Fort Lauderdale alongside producer Cameron Irvine, our statistician Benji Matson, and my partner Mike Improta. I'm Tim Hackett. Happy to have you with us. It's a crucial contest tonight, Mikey. Win and you stay in the mix. Lose, and it's a long road back.
Yeah, buddy, can you believe it? 2/3 of the way through the season, it's like we've never left, and once again, it's Sunday night SFL action from the Sunshine State in Florida, where the trespassing 3 and 4 Tulsa Desperados take on the frightening 3 and 4 Florida Storm. Both teams hungry for win number 4, fighting both to get back to 500, looking to keep their playoff hopes alive. For the Florida Storm, their offense is run by their QB, Ron Cochran. He's got excellent presence in the pocket. He's a riverboat gambler type, thriving on the big play, but he's thrown 22 interceptions, and that's the most in the league. Can he protect the ball and help the SFL community discord win their wager of who you got? 77% have picked Florida to win. And for Tulsa, Coach Dion Hawkins feels they have the horses to make a run. Gabriel Manning has been scintillating on special teams, but it's all about the quarterbacking cowboy Deacon Nickens. Can he throw the bomb, discredit the discord, and destroy the Storm? This is the shootout in the sun. SFL Nation, I'm ready to go. Let the show begin.
The ever-dangerous Gabriel Manning awaits this kickoff from Ethan Snead, and we are underway from Fort Lauderdale. Manning fields from inside his 5, cracks back out to his left, puts on a spin move, breaks out of a hit, and gets out to the 30. A first-hand look, Mike, at just how dangerous Gabriel Manning can be. For my money, and we'll talk about it as we go along tonight, possibly the most electric player in the SFL. A solid return of about 27 to start things off tonight.
The most electric return man in the SFL is exactly correct, and he almost zapped the Storm on that return. Last week, he took 2 back and shocked Queen City.
He's now got 19 career return touchdowns, 15 on kicks, 4 on punts in his SFL career. Deacon Nickens' first pass of the game has a man to the near side. That's caught for a gain of 7 down the left sideline by Marcel Miller, one of the backup wide receivers, and a nice pickup through the air for Nickens.
Good play to start this game by Deacon Nickens. Completes the pass to Miller for a 7-yard gain.
We know, Mike, that Deacon Nickens in Tulsa, he's kind of considered the gunslinger of the SFL. That's been his nickname, somebody who throws a lot. He throws for a lot of touchdowns, a lot of interceptions. But this season, only one of those 3 things is true. He throws for a lot of interceptions, not a lot of attempts, not a lot of touchdowns. First give to Sanzo Robinson, and he picks up 1 off right tackle stop by Alex Dominguez. He actually has the 4th fewest pass attempts in the league, bottom 5 in the league in touchdowns, but most interceptions in the league. So some good, some bad this season for Deacon Nickens.
Well, the definition of a gunslinger is a quarterback who plays in an aggressive and decisive manner by throwing deep, risky passes. He possesses a strong arm needed to throw the deep ball efficiently. But when you look at these 2 quarterbacks coming into tonight's game, Ron Cochran, 337 attempts versus Nickens, as you mentioned, who've only thrown 226.
And they'll give it to Sanzo Robinson there on 3rd down and short, and he picks it up, running right end and stopped by his opposite number 20, Andrew Francis.
Sanzo Robinson having a nice season. He's really picked it up in the touchdown department. Through 7 games, only had 1 TD, but last week against Queen City, he picked up 2 more.
His first 2 touchdowns since week 1, and he moves the sticks here for the Desperados. They're driving here on their first possession. The southpaw Nickens to throw out to the far sideline, has a man for a short gain. A pair of lefty quarterbacks doing battle here this afternoon, and that's caught by the rookie wide receiver DJ Hume.
Nothing better on Sunday night watching the southpaws sling it.
Deacon Nickens has thrown 10 touchdowns this season. 5 of them have been to the aforementioned Gabriel Manning, who was top 10 in the league top 15 in the league in that regard. 4 of them have gone to Corey Jones, and DJ Hume is still looking for his first SFL touchdown. Gain of 3 through the air for the rookie from Kansas City. Now Nickens back to throw again to the near side this time, looking for Manning, and the referees say that he stepped out of bounds before he could haul it in. 3rd down.
Tough pass. It looked like Manning couldn't get out of his route quick enough, and unfortunately, when he caught the ball, had 1 foot out of bounds.
All eyes are on Gabriel Manning as always, Mike, as he's one of the most electric players in the league, kick return wise, and in terms of the wide receiving threat. He needs 26 yards to vault back into second place in the SFL in receiving yards. Only 3 guys are ahead of him as it stands. Mike Daggs, top of the table after another 75 yards earlier today for Mexico City. Nickens pass over the middle looking for Hume is batted away, incomplete. This veteran Florida secondary shows up. Evan Carroll swats it away, 4th down.
Evan Carroll, he's a veteran. He's in his 8th season. He comes up big on 3rd down to force the punting situation.
You and I have seen the Storm a couple of times already this year, Mike, and I mean, I mention it every time, but it bears repeating. This Florida secondary, just the consistency over the years for Mighty Max Paul. We know about their championship pedigree. All 4 of their top defensive backs are all in their 6th season or more with the Storm franchise. It's just unheard of consistency. There's a kick away from Marcus Agrippa. I'm sorry, my apologies. Ismaila Farouk, the punter for Tulsa. Get too excited to see Marcus Agrippa get out there and do it, and it's returned by Jeff Como, and Florida will start from the 22.
Yeah, Ismaila Farouk trying to be a superstar punter like Marcus Agrippa is on the Florida Storm. But back to your point, Tim, yeah, the defensive secondary for the Florida Storm, there's no replacement for experience. And when you have a guy like cornerback Evan Carroll and safeties Tobin and Francis, it doesn't get too much better than that.
The 4 of them have been excellent so far this year, breaking up passes and picking them off. First play of the game for the veteran Ron Cochran. He bullets it over the middle and has a man complete for a gain of 12 on the first possession, the first play of the game, rather. That's picked up by Jeff Como and a 1st down for Florida.
Yeah, Jeff Como comes up big with a nice catch to start off Ron Cochran. Let's see if he can get into the groove. He comes in, as we mentioned in our intro, 22 interceptions in the season. That's the most in the league. He's got to protect the ball tonight at home if Florida wants to win.
Nickens has thrown 21 on the other side for the Desperados. Another pass here for Cochran, caught on the near sideline by Optimus Klein. Or check it, it's Stephen Bush, I believe it is. 11 in the Florida Red, not 88. And Bush is able to wiggle forward for a gain of 9.
Yeah, nice little out route by Stephen Bush. Picks up 9, brings up 2nd and short. He had 9 catches for 67 yards last week in the loss at Las Vegas.
Bush now 3 total touchdowns on the season. Optimus Klein with 4 and Jeff Como with 3. EJ Minson also with 3. Early 2nd down rather in short. They will give to J.W. Doyle, and he cracks up the middle to move the sticks. Brought down there by KT Slayer and Espen Rayal.
That's the MO for the Florida Storm offense. Really put the onus on Ron Cochran's throwing ability, but when they need to pick up a couple of yards for a tough 1st down, J.W. Doyle is your guy.
Florida only 18th in the league in rushing yards. Can they change that here today? Cochran with a quick hitter this time. That's caught out on the far sideline for a gain of about 3. Again by Stephen Bush, his 2nd catch.
It's all about ball control. If Ron Cochran can throw these little passes that pick up 5, 6, 7, 8 yards, stay out of trouble, keep himself clean, Florida's going to have a nice night for their QB.
We mentioned that Nickens kind of has that reputation of being the gunslinger, but maybe that reputation should be stuck on Ron Cochran. He throws the ball more than anybody else in the SFL through 7 games, better than 48 attempts per game. Here's another one, has a man on the near side, that's caught. 1st down and more for Optimus Klein, the veteran. These two have been playing together for a long time. Every year that Cochran has been the Florida quarterback, Optimus Klein has been one of his top targets. First catch for the 8th-year veteran.
Optimus Klein, I know when we called the Florida game a couple of weeks ago, in his first 2 games only had 2 receptions, but in the last 5 games, Tim, he is averaging 10 catches or more.
Yeah, when we saw them a couple of weeks ago, Florida against Fort Worth, we mentioned how all 3 of their top wide receivers are starting to get hot. As Doyle goes up the middle and picks up 3. Stopped there by DJ Majesty, one of the top linebackers in the league, and has been for quite a while. The same is true, Mike. Last week they put up 27 in a loss to Las Vegas, but they're 3 top wideouts. Cochran's still throwing the ball more than anybody else, throwing touchdowns, throwing picks, throwing for big numbers, and their top 3 wideouts are the beneficiaries.
Yeah, absolutely. They have the wide receivers to make the plays. It just falls on Cochran to get them the ball.
You know he's going to throw picks, so maybe you want him to get it out of the way early and try to come back. There's a nice throw from Cochran. That's caught again for a 1st down by Florida. Stephen Bush with his 3rd catch of the drive.
Stephen Bush, he's coming up big on this first possession for Florida. Cochran hits him for about a 12-yard gain. He comes in from the outside, gets in on the hash marks, and Florida is in business.
We saw that one drive against Fort Worth 2 weeks ago in week 6. It was a scoring drive for Florida in the first half. 14 plays for a touchdown. Ron Cochran threw the ball every single time. Doyle did not get a carry, and it works as they were able to march down the field and end up scoring in a game that the Storm would win. They will throw it again here to Doyle out of the backfield. A nice pursuit, limiting Doyle to a gain of just one. DJ Majesty, Mike, has been tremendous this season.
Very good, DJ Majesty, almost averaging 10 tackles a game. He comes in with 69 total tackles on the season. Now he's up to 70 total, and he told me before this game he just wants to wreck fools.
And poor J.W. Doyle is made to look like the fool on that play. Gain of one. Majesty top 10 in the league in total tackles, top 10 among linebackers in tackles for loss with 9. 2nd and 9 for Cochran to the near side. Caught again by Bush. He's been a busy man. Nice one-on-one tackle by number 24, Mo Austin, the nickelback.
Splendid job by the Storm to really feature Bush on this drive. Everyone looks at Klein, everybody staring in the backfield at Doyle, and Ron Cochran flicks it out to Stephen Bush for a 7-yard gain.
Brought up that drive against Fort Worth because now 9 plays on this drive for Florida, 8 passes, 1 run for Doyle. They will give it to Doyle again on 3rd and short, and this time the Desperados were ready. DJ Majesty is in on the stop once again, stopping Doyle on the line of scrimmage, 4th down.
TJ Majesty needs 6 more tackles to get his total up to 750 for his career. Tim makes a big play to stop this drive, and Ethan Snead will have to come out for the 3-point try.
On the fringes of top 15 all-time in career tackles here in the SFL now for the 7th-year veteran in his 2nd year with the Desperados. So Ethan Snead on for about a 32-yard field goal or so. He's perfect on his kicks so far this season, and that continues. He knocks it through officially from 32. Florida marches down the field. They pass all but 2 times. Snead hits the tray, and the Storm strike first.
Storm strike first. They crack the ice. They put 3 on the board. Certainly not the total that they wanted. They would like to see 7, but 3 to start the game, and Snead comes out, puts it through. Good start for Florida.
2nd-year man Ethan Snead now 15 of 15 on the season here for Florida. The Desperados getting set to get the ball back. A critical game here in Week 8, as we've said, a pair of 3 and 4 teams. Snead kicks it off to Gabriel Manning. Always a risky proposition. Breaks through the first wave, lowers the shoulder, and gets out to the 28-yard line. I mean, you don't want to hype Gabriel Manning up every single return, Mike, but he's just that dangerous. You never know what can happen when he gets the ball.
What an elusive speedster Gabriel Big Money Manning is, and you can see why he's so highly touted and why teams want him on their return team. He never goes down. He gets hit once, he gets twice, he still fights and picks up 5 or 6 yards. It takes 3 tacklers to bring this guy down.
The relentlessness is an amazing attribute for sure. Sanzo Robinson gets the carry here, and he picks up 3. Let's introduce you to the Tulsa offense. We like to do that here in the SFL. Desperados are 3 and 4. Deacon Nickens is the quarterback. Sanzo Robinson, the tailback. You get a look at him here. The wide receivers, Gabriel Manning, Corey Jones, and DJ Hume. The tight end is Anthony Mosley. And a pair of starting offensive linemen, center Finley James and left guard Michael Potter. A pair of rookies playing different positions from the minor leagues, finding a spot on the offensive line for the veteran Deacon Nickens, who will swing it out here to Sanzo. Sanzo breaks out of the first hit and then gets blown up on the second effort for a gain of 2, stopped by Ryan Davidson.
Sanzo Robinson, he's the man in the backfield. He had a great game last week, as we mentioned, 29 carries for 167 yards. But watch out for him catching passes out of the backfield. 33 catches for 159 yards. He averages just under 5 yards per catch.
Nickens does like to look his way quite a bit. Well, they go to him here. Now it's a little bit deeper. It's caught by Manning. Right to the line to gain. First down, Tulsa, just on the stick. Stopped up there by Evan Carroll. Needed 3, gets 3. First down, Tulsa.
Great job by Deacon Nickens to loft it over to the cornerback's hands. He's got the ability to thread the needle, Tim.
First catch of the day for Gabriel Manning, now up to 45 on the season. That's top 30 in the league, and we mentioned 4th in the SFL in receiving yards coming into action today behind just Mike Daggs and Mason Kirby. That's it right now as Robinson gets a carry for a gain of 1. He's stopped by Eric Hammer. We'll introduce you to the Florida defense. One change for the Storm in the last couple of weeks. Everything else is the same. Alex Dominguez, the 8th-year veteran, is the stalwart on the defensive line. There's Raymond Jones, the 2nd-year man who's on the interior. Alessandro Tomaello is the other defensive end. Eric Hammer, the outside linebacker. And John Nevels, in his 2nd game with the Storm, is wearing number 42. He's the middle linebacker in the Florida Reds. 2nd and 9 for Sanzo Robinson and Nickens. Robinson up the middle picks up another gain of 1. Slow rolling here as John Neville's right on cue. Makes the stop. The secondary for Florida, all this experience. Evan Carroll and Ryan Davidson are the corners with Adam Jones as the nickelback. The safeties, Ryan Tobin and Andrew Francis.
Great job by John Neville, the rookie who was just signed last week. He had 8 tackles and 1 pass deflection in his debut in Vegas.
And not a bad debut at all. Eric Hammer, for comparison, averages 8.5 tackles in his first 7 games in the SFL. 1 pump fake for Nickens over the middle. That's caught. First down and more for Gabriel Manning. That link up works again all the way out to the Florida 42.
You see how smart Deacon Nickens is. He's patient. He pump fake, froze the linebackers, allowed Manning to gain about 6 or 7 more yards on the reception, and they're down to the Florida 42.
You mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, Mike, but getting pressure on opposing quarterbacks has been an issue all season for Florida. Only 8 sacks on the campaign, but 4 of those came last week against Tom Rahman in Las Vegas. They doubled their season total just last week after they had 2 two weeks ago against Fort Worth. Sanzo Robinson navigates the pressure and picks up 4 going around the right side. So they've been okay at stopping the run, have the Florida defense. They've been okay at getting pressure against tailbacks, but against opposing quarterbacks, different story.
Well, stopping the run has been Florida's problem, Tim. They give up 131 yards a game, and that ranks 21st, which is second most in the league on the ground. They need to do a better job, and tonight they better stop Sanzo Robinson.
2nd and 5 after a gain of 5 for Sanzo Robinson. He goes right tackle this time and can't get anywhere. Eric Hammer is in there, and so is Andrew Francis, who's coming up on 700 career tackles, a milestone in his own right. We mentioned on the other side, DJ Majesty trying to move up the leaderboards. Francis has been doing it a long time. 7th-year player as a strong safety, now getting close to 700 career tackles. That is impressive. 3rd down and 4 for Deacon Nickens. That's top 20 all time, incidentally. Nickens under center. They'll give to Sanzo Robinson. He picks up just 1. This Florida defensive front was good on that set of downs, Mike. John Neville's welcome to the SFL. Another stop, 4th down.
The rookie from Springdale, Arkansas, unsigned free agent, makes a big play to stop the Tulsa Desperados on the Florida 35, forcing them to punt.
Yeah, this is no man's land, right? It would be a kick of better than 50 yards for the other undrafted rookie, Judah Dorgan, who joined this team in week 3. So instead, they will punt again with this Mela Farouk and try to pin Florida deep into their own territory. Optimus Klein will let it bounce, and Tulsa can't keep it out of the end zone. It's going to be a net of about 15 yards for Farouk and company. Do you like that decision, Mike? I mean, it would have been a super long field goal, a career high for Judah Dorgan.
Judah Dorgan, he's 7 for 8 on the season. Not sure if the young rookie has the leg. That would have been a 52-yarder. Tough decision early in the game. Tried to pin Florida back deep inside the 20. Unfortunately, the ball just rolls over the goal line for a touchback.
Not many kickers in this league have the leg consistently to make from 52. Ethan Sneed's long this season is 51, as Cochran now on his 2nd possession links up with Optimus Klein, who's been running on the bottom of the screen so far here in this game.
Optimus Klein, he came in 57 receptions on the year, and look at the power and drive that he has, throwing the stiff arm on the DB.
It's around the backup linebacker Kyron Hill. That is a mismatch as well for one of the best wide receivers in league history. We've mentioned this before, Mike. Last season, worst season of Klein's career since his rookie season. Only 1 touchdown catch, which is stunning for a team that throws the ball as much as Florida. More on that as we go along. It's the end of the first quarter already from Fort Lauderdale. The home team on top, 3-0. This is the Simulation Football League live on Twitch. Welcome back to the Eye alongside Mike and Proto with Benji Matson doing the stats and Cam Irvine running the show. I'm Tim Hackett. Happy to have you here with us. First game of our Sunday night SFL doubleheader. 3-0 Florida as we start the second quarter. J.W. Doyle with a nice carry, and he picks up 3 and the first down, hit from behind by Ezekiel Love.
Yeah, J.W. Doyle, he grounds and pounds, and he picks up the first down. They're up to the Florida 30.
We mentioned it briefly a couple of weeks ago. Only 1 touchdown last season for Optimus Klein, which is just stunning considering how much Florida passes, how many touchdowns Ron Cochran throws, how many yards he throws for. Just an off year for sure as Doyle breaks out of a hit. Best run of the day for Doyle. Stretches and gets the first down. A gain of 10.5 or so for Doyle. Hit from behind by Majesty, and Florida moves the chains again.
2 carries for J.W. Doyle, 2 first downs. Very impressive on that run. Almost got caught up behind the center, but he bounces it to the outside, and he picks up 10 yards. Great run by Doyle, a back who only averages about 3.5 yards per carry.
Just to put a cap on the Optimus Klein tale of woe, he's got 4 touchdowns now this season. It's not quite as much as he had the previous couple of seasons prior to last season, but he is finally starting to heat up as Cochran continues to throw the ball more than anybody else. We'll go on the ground again to Doyle, running right tackle at J.W. Doyle. That's another big gain. They will stop him just short of the first down line, a gain of 9.
What a block by the rookie out of Chicago, Illinois. Deontay Stoneville, number 77. J.W. Doyle just gets in right behind him. You see Stoneville push the defensive tackle to the left side, and Doyle finds the hole, and he's looked great on these last 3 carries.
Offensive line is short up by the rookie center Deontay Stoneville and second-year left tackle Claude Luge. Florida wearing the all reds. They call them the Red Alert kits. Tulsa with the white tops. They'll give it to J.W. Doyle again. First down. That was easy. You see Stoneville 77 in the red leading the way once again. Mike, gain of 4, first down.
Wow, that's what a champion center looks like. Deontay Stoneville played for the Madison Lynx. He was taken in the 6th round, 114th pick overall. But right there, he's looking like an all-star center, leading the way for J.W. Doyle, and they're down to the Tulsa 46.
You mentioned how much that Florida likes to pass the ball. They did so on their first scoring drive. This drive, 4 straight runs now for Doyle. Now they will pass with Cochran over the middle. That's risky and batted away by Espen Rayal, the 9th-year middle linebacker, the all-time league leader in pass deflections. Mike, he's got another one.
106 pass deflections for Espen Rayal in his career. That's the most in the SFL. He's leading the team with 9 pass deflections this season. Make it number 10. And folks, Espen Rayal has 2 more than the great legendary Eddie Gage, who rests at 105 through 7 weeks.
And they've been battling all season for that mantle, most pass deflections all time, and Gage did not get any. Outshined earlier today by fellow defensive back Anthony Wayo as J.W. Doyle barrels up the middle and picks up 4. Wayo had 5 interceptions, not Arizona. Arizona had 5 interceptions, yes, earlier today against Bryant Dynasty in Atlanta. Anthony Wayo had all of them. It's not often that Eddie Gage gets outshone in a game, Mike, but I think that counts.
Anthony Wayo, what a performance. 5 interceptions. Incredible.
You look at Kane Vasquez there for Tulsa, who's been tremendous in the defensive backfield for the Desperados. He's got 6 picks all season, which is top 10 in the league. 3rd and 5 for Cochran. Sidearm throw over the middle. Caught first down. Jeff Como with a big catch out across the 30 and down to the 28.
Ron Cochran has looked great on the first 2 drives, waited patiently as the line behind Stoneville gave him the protection that he needed, threw it sidearm, come out a little wobbly, but great concentration by Como to pick it up.
That pass a couple of plays ago was actually his first incompletion, and big props to our pal Benji Matson for subbing in last minute to do stats for us. Cochran 10 of his first 11. He will throw here. Easy check down route out of the backfield goes Doyle, lowers the shoulder to the sticks, first down. Gain of 10 through the air for J.W. Doyle. He is cooking, bumped out there by Majesty.
J.W. Doyle, every time he's touched the ball, he's been the best player on the field out of the backfield, and Cochran leads him perfectly, and Doyle picks up another first down. Look at this bruiser, Tim.
Florida fans know this story, but Doyle, of course, the fullback last year. Florida did not have a star running back. That is a strategy that has worked for Mighty Max Paul en route to a championship in the past. It seems unconventional in terms of the SFL. It certainly is unusual, but it has worked for Mighty Max in the past. And this year, Doyle flexing from fullback to tailback. Good game for him brewing here. We'll go to him through the air, and not this time, says DJ Majesty. One-on-one tackle, blows up Doyle for a gain of just 1.
DJ Majesty comes up, tremendous hit on Doyle, and he blasts him. Lucky to pick up 1 on that pass.
Officially, Doyle now over 50 all-purpose yards here, as we've not even played a quarter and a half here this evening in Fort Lauderdale. Inside the red zone for the first time are the Storm. 2nd down and 9 from the 16. Cochran under center, 3 wides, a tight end, and Doyle's the tailback. They'll fake the handoff. Now Cochran over the middle, caught by Optimus Klein, out inside the 10-yard line and down to the 9.
Optimus Klein, what a beautiful route. If you watch that, Tim, I had my eye on him thinking that they were going to pick out Klein, and that's certainly what Cochran did. Klein ran out about 3 yards, did a little stutter step, froze the DB, cut across the middle, and he picked up 8.
Sometimes going with the script works. Cochran has completed 13 passes, 4 to Bush, 2 to Como, 3 to Klein, and 4 to Doyle, his top 4 receivers. On third down, Doyle goes right tackle, and he won't get it this time. The Tulsa defense collapses when it counts again, and DJ Majesty stops J.W. Doyle one-on-one again.
DJ Majesty, he's coming up big, making some big-time plays. They gave it to Doyle, hoping to pick up the first down, and he was just short 1 yard of the marker.
Unofficially now 5 tackles for Majesty. Cochran and company come back out on the field. Tulsa showing blitz on 4th and 1 from inside the 10. 10 seconds on the play clock. Do they dare snap it here? Cochran waits. 5 seconds now on the play clock. 6:10 left in the first half, and there is the classic bait and switch play as Ron Cochran calls a timeout. What do you think, Coach Mike and Proton? You're inside the 10. You've been driving. Tulsa wasn't really able to stop you too consistently on that drive. You get to a 4th and 1. Do you go for it or do you kick it?
Really difficult decision from Marty Max Paul. I know J.W. Doyle's been ripping off good yardage. He's got 8 carries for 36 yards. He's been hot on the ground. But if you play it safe and you play by the book, you need to bring out the field goal kicker. It's not fun to do, but it's the right call.
And so here comes Ethan Sneed. You're right on as usual, Mike. He will come on for a chip shot field goal. Deontay Stoneville will snap. Mike Hatt is the holder. Clock runs. Snap down, hold down, no pressure, and Sneed knocks it through from 25. He's 2 of 2 to start, and now 16 of 16 in his sophomore season.
Ethan Sneed in his sophomore season, Newport News, Virginia. Last year he was 22 for 22. This year he's 16 for 16. Last week he had 2 for 2 against Las Vegas. What a fine rookie kicker Ethan Sneed has been.
And now he's got maybe even a more difficult job than hitting that field goal, as he's got to avoid Gabriel Manning on this kick. It's rare to see touchbacks in the SFL. Manning will field with his right heel on the end zone. And great work on coverage by this Florida special teams. It's a return of about 20 for Manning, but he gets out to just the 22. That is about a typical return here in the SFL. They've stopped Money Manning from having any sort of impact on special teams so far.
First time Manning went down on the first hit. Great job by the backup linebacker, Jason Julian, to bring Manning down at the 22.
So Deacon Nickens, Sonzo Robinson and company back out there for their 3rd offensive possession. It's not been bad so far. They just have not been able to get anything going consistently. And Robinson trying to change that, churns forward, gets out of the first wave of the defense, and gets the first down with a gain of 10.
Did you see the center, Finley James, pull? He came off of his block, he led the way, and Sonzo Robinson, nice carry to pick up the first down.
It's such an interesting setup that Tulsa has. They have a star center and a star guard. You get a look at Michael Potter there, 73, often plays left guard, but looks like he's lining up as the right guard there today. He's number 73 in the white tops. So it's interesting. Florida also with 2 star offensive linemen, center and left tackle. It's just a difference in philosophy, I guess. 1st and 10, Robinson will try to run left tackle, and that does not work. Stopped at the line of scrimmage by Alex Dominguez.
Alex Dominguez, he comes up big, picks up the tackle for loss. That's his 8th on the season, and that's what they need more of for Florida to be successful on their defensive line. But back to the point you were making about the offensive line, they need to do a better job. But Finn James, he's the guy that they want to run behind.
2nd and 10 now after that stop on the line from the man they call Big Sexy. Robinson with a nice catch on a risky pass, and he's going to be ushered out behind the line of scrimmage. That could have been dangerous, but Robinson somehow with a 1-arm basket catch, but it turns into a loss of 1.
Yeah, I didn't see the play happen quickly. Lucky that Robinson didn't get hit a little bit further behind the line, but the cornerback who came up, I think that might have been Andrew Francis, pushes Robinson back for a 1-yard loss.
Francis has been a busy man so far here today. So 3rd and 11, Nickens will send 5 men out wide, trips to the bottom and 2 to the top. He's alone in the backfield. Nickens under pressure, steps up, bullets over the middle. It's dropped. He had a man past the first down line. That was DeShera Young, the number 5 wide receiver, and he can't haul it in. 4th down.
Wow, very unfortunate. Incredible presence in the pocket by Deacon Nickens. He avoided the pressure, stepped up, threw it right on the money, and it was dropped right at the first down marker.
I saw the 8 at first, Mike. I was like, was that Gabriel Manning? And no, it was 88 DeShera Young, and I guess that explains a little bit more. You don't expect Manning to miss in that situation. Ooh, almost blocked as that punt from Farouk. Now here comes Optimus Klein on the return, and he's able to drag the man forward and fall out to near the 35-yard line. Jeff Como was the man returning kicks earlier this season for the Storm, and now it will be Optimus Klein's duties from here on in. Decent return for him there.
Good job by Florida. They did what they had to do. Deacon Nickens found the open man. DeSherry Young wasn't able to pull it in. He was the only guy that was open on that play. Unfortunately, couldn't haul it in.
Should have been a first down for Deion Hawkins in Tulsa. No way around it. They're now 0 for 3 with 3 punts for Farouk on their first 3 possessions. 4.5 to go until halftime. Florida on top 6-0 with the ball. Here's J.W. Doyle running right guard. Nice pull out there again by Stoneville, helping to lead the way. And Doyle rumbles forward for a gain of 9.
Impressive game on the ground by J.W. Doyle. 9 carries for 45 yards, and he picks up another 9.
Rest of the Florida offense, Ron Cochran the quarterback, J.W. Doyle is the tailback. As you just saw, the wide receivers, Optimus Klein, Stephen Bush, Jeff Como, and EJ Minson, and the tight end is Vardan Zarkov. 2nd and 1 for Doyle. Huge hole for Doyle, up right guard, spins around a tackle, and DJ Majesty reaches and pushes him down with his 2 palms. That could have been a whole lot worse.
Could have been a whole lot worse, is right, Tim. DJ Majesty, I think, just saved a touchdown with that tackle. All the blocks were in order. Everybody had their assignment, and lucky that Doyle didn't take that one to the house. You know, this Florida team only averages 64 yards a game. Doyle's already up to 54.
Yeah, that was a blast in the back from DJ Majesty, absolutely laying out, doing anything he could to stop Doyle from getting an even longer run. Another big run for the tailback. They'll go to him again as penalty flags fly. This time Tulsa is up to the task, but this might be in the area of an offsides perhaps. Royale was there on the stop, or maybe against the Florida line.
Yeah, I couldn't see. They had the box stacked up on the line, but it looked like somebody jumped.
There you go. Our first look at our 6-2 in tonight's action. And it will be a neutral zone infraction against second-year defensive end Chris Andrews. And free 5 yards here for Florida.
The second-year man out of Birmingham, Alabama. He's got 8 tackles for loss. He wanted to pick up number 9. He jumped a little too early.
All members of this Tulsa defensive line. It was completely reworked 2 seasons ago. They're all in their second year. Chris Andrews and Berto DeMora on the ends. Jaden Swift and KT Slayer on the inside. Tulsa does like to run a 4-man front. They will give it to Doyle, and he runs right into that 4-man front. No gain. Espin Royale. He's the middle linebacker, Mike, but he is a bruiser.
Espin Royale has been absolutely ferocious on this defensive line. He's got Doyle's number, and he might be watching him for the rest of this game, but he nailed Doyle on that play.
You mentioned the all-time league leader in pass deflections, also 15th all-time in tackles for loss, and 6th all-time in total tackles, his 9th season in the SFL. 2nd and 5 for Cochran. Bullets over the middle, caught again for a first down by Jeff Como. That play has worked a couple of times, gain of 8.
Love that play. Great looking play by Florida. Mighty Max Paul has drawn up a nice looking offensive set. The 2 wide receivers on the bottom of the screen took the DBs out. They ran straight out. That opened up the middle of the field for Como to come right across, and Cochran hit him with a bullet.
Cochran is 14 of his first 15 for 107 yards, a yards per attempt of about 7, about par for the course this season for Cochran, as Doyle goes up right side this time and picks up 4.
Just as J.W. Doyle is starting to pick it up, I can't say enough about this center, Deontay Stoneville. What a game he's having to allow Doyle success on the ground.
Only 2 minutes left in the first half. The Storm on top, 6-0. This is the Simulation Football League, live on Twitch. Happy to have you with us here this evening. Sam Akin and Mike Proto with Benji Matson and Cam Irvine here with you live from Fort Lauderdale. The second game of our Sunday night doubleheader live right now across the pond. Carolina at London with Andy Hamilton and Mark Lopez. You can catch that game live on the SFL's YouTube channel, or we'll keep you posted on the developments as we go along here tonight as Doyle gets another carry, and he's blown up again by DJ Majesty. That's his 7th tackle in this game, Mike. I think all of them have been against J.W. Doyle.
The 2 linebackers are focused on J.W. Doyle. Doyle's been ripping it up here so far in the first half, and he gets blasted by Majesty.
One more, and Majesty will have 750 in his career, top 15 all time. 3rd and 5 for Cochran. He goes down. First sack of the game for this very good Tulsa defensive line. Jaden Swift is in there. He's got 3.5 sacks now.
Jaden Swift, the big man out of Fort Worth, Texas. He picks up his 3.5 sacks on the season, picks up his first tonight, and that's a big play, forcing Ethan Snead to come out again. This will be about a 47-yarder, Tim.
You mentioned that Florida has struggled to get pressure on opposing quarterbacks this season. Tulsa has not had the same issue. All 4 of their starting defensive linemen have at least 1 sack. Even KT Slayer, who only has 11 tackles all season, has a sack to his name. Time ticking, less than a minute to go in the first half. Ethan Snead on for his 3rd field goal attempt of the game, and he knocks it through officially from 46. It's a hat trick for the lefty Ethan Snead, and Florida leads 9-0.
Florida will be very happy with their young kicker, Ethan Snead, booting it through from 46. Now it extends the lead to a 2-score margin.
This is just a par for the course type of game so far for Florida. They're throwing it a lot. Cochran is throwing these mid routes, 6.5 yards per attempt so far. Only 1 incompletion. That's a little bit unusual. No turnovers so far, and Florida is doing just enough. They're getting good work from Doyle, get into field goal range, and Snead has been perfect so far. Here comes Gabriel Manning, lowers the shoulder, and not this time again. This Florida special teams unit has been excellent. Manning gets to the 24 and no further.
Max Paul, Optimus Klein, and J.W. Doyle have really put their heads together to come out with a very nice-looking offensive playbook today. They've kept Ron Cochran clean in the pocket, and they really controlled the game. There's only 47 seconds left to go in the half. Excellent job on both sides of the ball by the home team.
Pretty stunning how quickly this first half has gone by. I always hesitate about saying that. 47 seconds left. Nick gets to throw over the middle. That's caught. First down for Corey Jones. His first catch of the game, a pickup of 12. And now this is what I was hoping to see. Mike, Tulsa, all 3 timeouts. 47 seconds to go. Quick hitter. They get 12. Move the chains. First down. Timeout.
Deion Hawkins and Deion Nickens, let's see what they have in their arsenal. Let's see what they can do to manage the clock. 2 timeouts left. They're at the Tulsa 35. Let's see if they can get into field goal range.
You saw Gabriel Manning. He will move to the top of the screen. Tulsa's got 3 receivers up there. Florida only has 2 defenders near the line. And Nickens finds somebody up there. He'll look to the top of the screen. Has a man over the middle of the field, caught again by Corey Jones, and he fumbles the ball. It's loose on the ground, and Tulsa's got it, I think. Manning was in the area. Some of the offensive linemen were in there as well. Ryan Tobin was in the vicinity for Florida. That was a catch and a quick fumble. We've seen this a lot for Florida so far this season. Looks like we're not going to even have a review, Mike.
Whoa, very, very fortunate that Tulsa was able to pick up that fumble. And what a hit Ryan Tobin put on the receiver. Tremendous.
Tulsa gets another life, and down goes Deacon Nickens. This Florida defensive front has been excellent over the last couple of weeks. And Il Veneziano, Alessandro Tomaello, has his 3rd sack of the season.
Alessandro Tomaello, the Italian, comes up big. And I think Tulsa right now, they just better be careful. They don't want to get picked off with 7 seconds left to go.
Time for one more play, and now Tulsa's going to call a timeout. I expected to see this a few seconds earlier. They wasted about 4 seconds, Mike, but now they will have time for Deion Hawkins. You get a look at him there on the Tulsa sideline to chat with Deacon Nickens and maybe draw up one last play before the half.
Yeah, not too sure what that timeout was really all about. Maybe just wanted to collect Nickens, get himself under control and, have them go in only down 9-0. But with 3 seconds left to go from the 32-yard line of Tulsa, you don't really see too much happening here. They need to be conservative, go into the half, go into the locker room, and come back out refreshed.
You know Manning is a big play guy. Can they get it to him here with 3 seconds left in the half? Instead, they will give it on a counter run to the other side for Sanzo Robinson. Decent gain for him to end the half. And that is going to bring us to the end of the first half. A quick moving game here in Fort Lauderdale, and it finishes in, after one half, the Florida Storm on top 9-0. Seen a little bit of everything so far in this game, Mike, except for prolonged drives from Tulsa. And they head into the half with no points on the board. Surprising sight.
Both defenses have come out and played outstanding. Florida's just been the beneficiary with the 3 field goals from Ethan Snead. They really haven't allowed Deacon Nickens to throw the ball. They've held Sanzo Robinson to 34 yards rushing. It's just been a solid game plan. And right now, the 9 points are the difference. There haven't been any turnovers, so both quarterbacks have protected the ball nicely. Both of them coming in last in the league in turnovers for Florida. Tulsa second to last in the league with turnovers. So that hasn't come back to bite them. It's just that the defenses have really come out and really kept an eye on the star players for both sides of the team, haven't allowed them to really get it going. And that's where you see the 9 points, the field goal kicking from Ethan Snead. 9-0 Florida Storm.
And just about a flawless first half from Florida, who will get the ball first to start the second half as well. Keep that in mind. And we mentioned the front for Florida. They've struggled all season, Mike. You mentioned their struggles against the run. I've talked already about their struggles to get pressure on opposing quarterbacks. But so far in this first half, they stopped Deacon Nickens. He's only 9 of his first 12 for about 50 passing yards. You mentioned Sanzo Robinson, less than 30 rushing yards. And, of course, that sack there on that last possession. The Florida defensive front has been great so far.
Yeah, they've done an excellent job. They've been in 4-4 coverage, which is really good of defending both the run and the pass. They've done excellent to contain Sanzo Robinson, haven't let him get going. And Deacon Nickens hasn't really taken any deep shots to Manning or Corey Jones. And this is exactly what the Florida Storm have kept in mind. This is their MO. They come out, they grind it, they slow down the tempo, they let Ron Cochran just pick out his wide receivers and let Doyle do the work. And right now, this is playing right into the Storm's hands.
First kickoff return of the day for Optimus Klein, and he gets out to the 21. There's one other game in action right now. Let's go back to the SFL headquarters. Cameron Irvine with a game break.
On the punt return, Carolina fumbles, and who picks it up? Benji Matson, and returns it for a touchdown. The Knights up 17-0 early in the second quarter. As I'm speaking, Carolina's scoring a touchdown. Back to you guys.
Of course, Cam. Sorry about that. As Cochran opens up the second half with a quick hitter out to the left side. It's caught there by Vardan Zarkov, his first catch of the game. You can't see me right now, Mike, but I'm smiling. That couldn't happen to a better guy for Benji Matson. He finally gets on the board. Love to see it.
Benji Matson, one of the best-looking tight ends out of Nebraska, comes up big, picks up the fumble, and takes it back to pay dirt. Are you kidding me, Hacker? Are you kidding me, Tim Hackett?
Second and 3 is J.W. Doyle, lowers the shoulder, gets another big gain. He's blown up again by DJ Majesty, who officially now has 13 tackles, over 750 in his career. 15th player that can say that. But look, I mean, I love the caveat you added there. You said one of the best-looking players in the SFL. Benji likes to say he is the best-looking tight end in the SFL. So I think you guys are going to have some words.
There's a lot of guys that claim to be the best-looking wide receiver in the SFL, but the only thing that makes them look good is when they're scoring TDs, and Benji Matson puts one on the board for London.
This has been like the one-on-one battle with the two epic point guards going toe-to-toe, or the epic quarterback duel, right? One just gets off the field, the other one goes up and lights it up too. J.W. Doyle against DJ Majesty, the two guys with the two initials first name. They have just been on each other all game. Another pickup of 9 through the air for Doyle, stopped again by Majesty. This is just a mano-a-mano, blow-for-blow battle here. They'll give it again to Doyle up the middle. Another first down out to midfield, blown up by Kane Vasquez that time.
Yeah, I know J.W. Doyle's had a couple of games where he's gone over 100 yards, and tonight might be one more. He's looked absolutely fantastic. They keep running behind the big center, Deontay Stoneville. He was looking for somebody to block on that play. The hole opened up, and Doyle picks up another Florida Storm first down.
Introduce you to the rest of the Tulsa secondary. Nate Heslip, Cameron Shaw, and Mo Austin are the corners. The aforementioned Kane Vasquez and Ezekiel Love are the safeties. First down over the middle. Spinning catch is not made by Steven Bush. That was almost a highlight reel play. Check it. It's actually E.J. Minson, 83 in the red. He had to spin around and try to haul that one in. The pass was a little bit too far behind him. Second down. Just the second incompletion of the day for Ron Cochran. We're here in the third quarter.
Tough drop by E.J. Minson, thrown a little bit behind him. He had to spin around. You're right, Tim. But the free safety, Ezekiel Love, came up, and they popped the ball loose.
Ezekiel Love has had a really solid rookie season. The former minor league champion halfback with the Madison Lynx. We mentioned his former teammate Deontay Stoneville on the other side as Doyle goes up the middle this time, and he's blown up for no gain by DJ Majesty. This is absolutely unbelievable. He's going to be close to 850 career tackles before the night's over.
Well, he came in one behind Kane Vasquez, who's leading the team with 70 tackles. But right now, DJ Majesty has taken over that team lead, and he's got his eye on Doyle.
They've got a big three, Tulsa, Vasquez, Majesty, and Rial, as Cochran is hit as he throws, and that ball is going to fall incomplete. Great pressure by Chris Andrews with another quarterback hurry. He had one in the first half, 4th down, and here comes Marcus Agrippa for the first time.
Wow, what incredible strength and agility by Chris Andrews. He put the swim move on the defensive end, came from on the bottom of the screen, nailed Cochran, and he was lucky that his arm came forward, and that was incomplete.
So Florida fans know this by now, but Marcus Agrippa, the lone star punter here in the SFL. It means he's just the best in the business by default, but he also earns that moniker by being simply very good at punting the ball. Tulsa sends out 2 men that nearly block it. Agrippa with a high angling kick. It's going to bounce and sail into the end zone. So unfortunately for Agrippa, just a net of about 28. That took a big hop on the infield turf, Mike, and sails into the outfield for extra bases.
Marcus Agrippa, he's got the golden boot. Lucky that thing didn't get down inside the 5.
Tulsa now will take over their first possession of the second half. And the first failed drive of the game for Florida, Mike. They were 3 of 3 on their offensive possessions in the first half with 3 field goals for Ethan Snead. So Sanzo Robinson will get the carry out around right tackle, breaks through the first hit, lowers the shoulder, and can't get through the second wave. Still a nice gain of 9 out around right tackle for Robinson.
And that's what they need Sanzo, Mr. Robinson, to do. He needs to carry the ball. He needs to get his legs moving. And when he gets to the outside, that's where he's most effective. And you see right there, he picks up a beautiful 9-yard carry.
Shortest drive of the game unofficially for Florida in terms of both plays and yards, 8 for 29, resulting in that punt from Marcus Agrippa. First possession of the second half for Tulsa. Robinson up right guard, and another big gain for Sanzo. Brought down from behind by Ryan Davidson all the way out to the 39.
Great determination by Sanzo Robinson. He never quits, keeps his legs moving, picks up the first down, and Tulsa's on the move.
Fresh off of the best game of his season, bar none, last week, Mike, as you mentioned earlier, over 150 rushing yards and a pair of touchdowns as Tulsa blitzed Queen City 38-16, one of their biggest offensive outputs of the season, trying to parlay that into their second win in a row as Robinson goes up right guard once again and picks up just 3. And we're past the point of saying it's too early to say this, Mike, because like you said, after today, we'll be 2/3 of the way through the regular season. At this point, this game is critical for both of these two squads. If you lose, it's not all over at 3-5, but if you move to 3-5, it is a deep hole to climb out of. It is not a stretch to say this is the most important game of the season so far for these two teams. 2nd and 7 for Nickens. They give again to Sanzo Robinson, and he picks up 3. Hit from behind by John Nevels, who's had a nice game.
Without a question, without a doubt, no question about it, Tim. This is absolutely the most important game for these 2, 3, and 4 teams. If you drop to 3 and 5, you drop back to the last quarter of the league. If you move up to 4 and 4, that puts you in spot number 11, and that's how many teams make the playoffs. Going 4 and 4 is huge.
Here's a huge throw from Nickens, has a man wide open down the right sideline on 3rd and 4. Deacon Nickens shows you why he's called the gunslinger. Biggest play of the game for the Desperados, hauled in for a first down by Corey Jones.
Yeah, Deacon Nickens, you know, he can show some great touch on those deep routes, and Corey Jones is the guy. They're down to the Florida 33, and that's what they need to do. Every now and then, run the ball with Sanzo Robinson, have them stack the box, and then that brings up the one-on-one coverage, and Corey Jones is a tough guy to take care of.
Gain of 22 through the air for Jones, the longest play from scrimmage for the Desperados. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter, trailing 9-0. Nickens under pressure, hit as he throws, wobbles it down the right sideline this time, and it falls incomplete. There's a look at Big Sexy. He provided the pressure, hits Nickens as he throws up a duck.
Big time pressure by Alex Dominguez. As Nickens reared back, Dominguez nailed him from behind, and that ball went sailing out of bounds.
EJ Minson in the chat saying a gunslinger is not a gunslinger for throwing to a wide open receiver. Well, fix your defense then, EJ Minson. Why was he wide open? That's not my fault. It was still a beautiful throw and a nice catch. 2nd down and 10 as Nickens was not able to complete that play because of good defense from Florida. As Robinson, speaking of good defense, runs right into John Nevels. First career TFL for the man in his 2nd week in the SFL. Welcome to the team.
Wow, John Nevels, what an impact this guy is making, not only in his first game, but in his second game here. This is the first time he's played in front of the Florida Storm home crowd, and they love him.
What a game for John Nevels. You mentioned 8 tackles, 4 solo last week in his debut. Add a couple more to that ledger here this afternoon. 3rd and 12 after the TFL. Over the middle, caught, but short of the sticks for Deacon Nickens. Another decent throw, but it's going to be about 4 yards short. The receiver looks like maybe DJ Hume, or now they're going to tell me it's Anthony Mosley, number 45, not number 15. Body type's really not the same at all. DJ Hume, one of the smallest guys in the league at 5'10", 185. Tulsa's going to come up short and send on the field goal kicker.
Yeah, nice drive by Tulsa. They come up short, but it gives them an opportunity to put points on the board. Let's see how Judah Dorgan responds.
Rookie kicker Judah Dorgan, 7 of 8 in his rookie season for the Desperados. The holder is Sheely Ebbs, and Dorgan knocks it through from 43 yards out. And Tulsa, on their first possession of the second half, is on the board.
Yeah, in a low-scoring game like this, those 3 points are very, very large. Cuts it back to a 1-score margin. They're only down by 6 points. Good job by Tulsa to get themselves on the board. Let's see what their defense can do.
You're right. It is now a 1-score game once again because neither of these two teams, which has struggled to put points on the board at times so far this season. Tulsa's 16th in the league in points per game. Florida is top half in points per game, but they both struggle with turnovers. Like we said, it's surprising. Fans of the broadcaster jinx look away, but no turnovers so far in this game. Decent return for Optimus Klein. He gets out to the 25. There was that one almost turnover on that forced fumble by Ryan Tobin that Tulsa recovered. Then they were able to go down and hit that field goal. So no turnovers so far for these two teams, which not average, forget anything about average, just brute numbers. The most turnovers in the league so far this season, 22 make it through 7 games, the most in the league. Pretty unbelievable.
It is pretty unbelievable when you have a guy like Ron Cochran who's averaging about 2 interceptions in every game this year, and to have none through 2.5 quarters from either side is very, very surprising. And with the score only 9-3, that's another big shocker. Florida comes in averaging about 25 points per game. Tulsa averages 22 points per game. That over-under right now, if you've got the under, you're looking pretty good.
They're also 3rd in the league in points per game. I'm sorry, in pass yards per game, and Ron Cochran has now thrown for just 128 unofficially as he links up with Steven Bush for 8. I thought for sure we were going to see a pick on that play as we were talking about it. Here goes Doyle, a big reason why there haven't been any turnovers, and a huge hole for J.W. Doyle out across the 40-yard line and stopped at the 39 by Cameron Shaw. The biggest run of the day for J.W. Doyle, and Florida's in business.
J.W. Doyle, he's big, he's powerful, and right now he can't get stopped. Look at that. He goes right over to Espen Royale, who's been able to stop him along with DJ Majesty, but not that time. What a lowering of the shoulder by Doyle to pick up big yardage.
28 yards unofficially, one of the longest runs of the season for J.W. Doyle, and he is now unofficially over the century mark. That has not happened very much for him this season. 1st and 10, they will go to him through the air once again, away from DJ Majesty this time, and he's wrapped up one-on-one. Nice tackle by Nate Heslip.
Nice job by Nate Heslip. He comes into tonight's game with 8 interceptions, which is tied with Jack Russell and Tank Bennett. That's the league lead.
We're going to monitor that London game going on right now on the SFL YouTube channel. You can catch that game right now if you want with Andy Hamilton and Mark Lopez to see if Jack Russell gets any more interceptions because, like you said, he and Heslip are tied with 8 atop the league table. Cochran to the far sideline, caught there by E.J. Minson, his first catch of the game, and pick up a 4.
There's E.J. Minson. He's been chatting it up in the chat room, and he comes up with a nice little play to pick up 7.
You want to join in on the chat, you're in the right place right here on Simulationfl on Twitch. Happy to have you with us. Tim Hackett and Mike Proda in the booth. Benji Matson in the stats truck, and Cameron Vine working hard behind the scenes as he always does. Less than 3 to go in the 3rd quarter. Florida up by 6. The give to Doyle up the middle. 1st down and more. Stopped again by Majesty. Or check it, that's Royale this time. 99, not 95. But the Doyle train keeps on running.
Well, the Doyle train keeps on running because Deontay Stoneville, the other D train, keeps blocking like a maniac, and Doyle is finding that hole. He picks up another 1st down on the Tulsa 26.
And the left tackle is more like a sled than a train because he's Claude Luge, but he has also been good and sprung Doyle on that 28-yard gain a few plays ago. Pump fake for Cochran, bombs it over the middle, has a man in double coverage, and he airmails him. And frankly, that was best case scenario for Florida. If that pass was any closer, it would have been picked.
I agree, Tim. I think that was intended for Jeff Como, and Cochran, the gunslinger, the real gunslinger, threw it into double coverage, threw it a little bit too high, and he's fortunate that that fell incomplete.
Roberto DeMora was on the pressure that time for Tulsa. We haven't talked about him too much today, but he has more sacks than Florida's defensive line combined through 7 games. Pretty remarkable, 6.5. Second and 10 after the incompletion. Doyle is wrenched down from behind by Rial. They give him a gain of 2. What a tackle.
Espin Rial, the linebacker out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, on the last run. Doyle, he nailed him, but then Rial says, I owe you payback.
These two these two linebackers for Tulsa have been in the league a long time. 7 seasons now for Majesty, 9 for Rial. 6th season now with Tulsa for Rial, 2nd for Majesty. It is about as good of a 1-2 punch as you'll find as Cochran links up over the middle once again for a first down. Is that E.J. Minson? You bet. 2nd catch of the drive. Tulsa now inside the red zone.
Great catch by E.J. Minson. Better throw by Ron Cochran. He's really been on point tonight.
You mentioned that because those top 3 wide receivers for Florida have been picking up steam over the last 3-4 weeks or so, that's meant a lesser role for E.J. Minson. Nice catch for him there. 1st and 10 from the 13. Quick bomb to the left side, caught again, this time by Jeff Como for a gain of 6.
Jeff Como, they tried to throw it to him on the 2 previous plays. It went out of bounds, or I'm sorry, it went over his head in the end zone to fall out of bounds. But on that play, he gets out of bounds, stop the clock. Or is the clock? I thought he got out of bounds. I'm surprised. The clock's still running, just over a minute, but they're down to the Tulsa 7.
85% completion rate so far for Ron Cochran. 4th catch of the game for Jeff Como, back after a season away. 2nd and 4. The give to Doyle. Tulsa was ready for that one. Jaden Swift reads the play. His 8th TFL of the season. Majesty was there for good measure. 3rd down.
Jaden Swift, he comes into the game with 25 tackles. That's a good number for a defensive lineman, but the tackles for loss are really impressive, Tim.
Yeah, it's a high number for sure, especially for an interior man. A lot of the work comes from the outside here in the SFL. Swift with another TFL. 3rd and 6 now from inside the 10. Cochran has time over the middle. Risky pass, knocked away, incomplete. DJ Majesty was there once again. He was going for Klein on that shallow cross that has worked before, but Majesty's killer game continues.
These 2 linebackers, Espin Rial and DJ Majesty, even though Majesty didn't see that, he covered the wide receiver very nicely, blanket coverage, and Cochran hits him in the back. The pass falls incomplete, and Sneed will come out once again for his 4th field goal attempt.
That's how you know you're having a good game. If you're DJ Majesty, the ball finds you. You're not even looking for it. It hits him in the back, a free pass deflection off the hands of Ron Cochran. And that falls incomplete for 4th down. So here comes Ethan Sneed now for his 4th field goal attempt of the game. Mike Hadd is the holder, and the kick from the lefty Sneed is up and through from 25 for the 2nd time today. 4 field goals for Ethan Sneed, and the Storm lead by 9 once again.
Yeah, they lead by 9, so that field goal that Judah Dorgan was able to kick really is negated. It's like it was 9-0, and Tulsa really needs to come out. They need to move the ball. They got to get into the end zone if they want a chance as this 3rd quarter comes to a close.
Optimus Klein saying in the chat, Ethan Sneed earning his paycheck today. I think that's fair to say. Between he and Doyle, that has been the 2 biggest reasons on offense, at least, why Florida has this lead here in the 3rd quarter. And again, they stop up Gabriel Manning. Look, Mike, we hyped Manning up from the first kick because he is that dangerous. I called him the most electric player in the SFL. I think Giovanni Bolt might have a claim to that, if only for his name, if nothing else. But between those 2, they are just dangerous. You never know when they could break off a long kick return. I don't think that's unfair for us to hype him up, but he just hasn't done anything so far today.
No, Florida's done a great job on special teams to contain them, but that really was the difference last week when Queen City was at Tulsa. In that 2nd quarter, the punt with Manning gave them that 17-3 lead with about 4 minutes left to go. Tulsa had a nice 3-and-out, and about 30 seconds later, Manning was back in the end zone with another punt return that really broke the game open, and he really was the difference. Sonzo Robinson had a great game, but Manning on those 2 punt returns right before the half, that's really what sprung them to the victory.
Manning had only 2 catches for 19 yards last week, and Nickens goes down again. Another sack for the suddenly torrid Florida defense, the all-time sack leader in SFL history. Alex Dominguez with number 3 on the season. And that takes us to the end of quarter number 3. Another field goal. It's been all kickers so far here tonight, and Florida leads at 12-3. You're watching the Simulation Football League live on Twitch. Welcome back to the Eye in South Florida. Tim Hackett and Mike Improto here with you live. Benji Matson and Cam Irvine are alongside us. Thank you for being here with us wherever you're watching the Simulation Football League from. Happy to have you. Nickens under pressure again. Down he goes again. Back-to-back sacks from the other side this time. Tomaello is there. His second sack of the day. 4th down.
Alessandro Tomaello. They know this Florida Storm hasn't had a lot of sacks this year, but tonight Dominguez and Tomaello, they've really woken up, and this is what they need.
He's born to play for the Florida Storm, the team that loves to rep South Florida after moving from Alaska a couple of seasons ago. He's from Venice, and every time I say this, I love it. Not Venice, Florida, because that is a place in Florida. Venice, Italy. Il Veneziano with his second sack of the game. He had just one all season prior to today. Optus Klein breaks out of the first hit and gets out to the 45. I mean, get this. He's now got 2 solo sacks today as well, Mike. Both of his sacks prior had been half sacks. So 4 hits on the quarterback, technically up to 3 total sacks, and suddenly it's turned into a decent year for him.
Florida Storm, they really come alive here tonight at home. I know they lost a tough one on the road to Vegas, but they're just as capable as any. If this defensive front 4 can keep playing and start building momentum into the last third of the season, Florida is going to be a scary team to face.
Royale with another TFL as Doyle gets nowhere, stopped up officially for a loss of 1. And remember, despite that loss last week for Florida, which stopped their 3-game win streak against Las Vegas, they had 4 sacks against Tom Rahman, which is a middle-of-the-pack offensive line. We know how good Vegas is at getting sacks on the defensive side, one of the best in the league. Florida, the opposite in that category going into last week. They still pick up 4, double their season total, and they've got 3 here tonight. Maybe they're starting to turn the page. Here goes Doyle, up right guard this time, and he picks up 6.
Doyle has looked so impressive. But to your point, Tim, yeah, that's really the key. In their 3-game win streak, Ron Cochran was only sacked 4 times. And in the loss to Vegas, he got sacked 4 times in that game alone. So if they can protect him behind Stoneville and Luge, and Doyle can step up and really give him the time to pick out his receivers, that's the key for this offense to move the ball.
Nearly one of those costly plays that we've talked about from Ron Cochran. He was going for Vardan Zarkov, trying to give him a one-on-one jump ball. It sails over his head. I was just about to mention, Mike, you mentioned the Florida offensive line has kept Cochran upright tonight. I was going to say he hasn't hurt himself with bad decisions. That was nearly one, but Florida survives it and brings up 4th down.
Yeah, he's been sacked 24 times throughout this season. That's the 3rd most in the league. Tonight, he's only been sacked once, so the line has done a really nice job to give Cochran time. They just haven't been able to move the ball into the end zone.
Marcus Agrippa will punt it away. Line of scrimmage is the 40. Angled kick towards the right corner of the end zone, and it bounces out at the 7. We mentioned this, Mike, league leader last season. No surprise in in punts inside the 20-yard line. Add another one there for Agrippa here in this season.
Last season, he had 21 punts inside the 10 right there. Beautiful kick. What a coffin kick. Puts it right at the 7, and Tulsa's back against it again.
They've not been able to move the ball consistently here at Tulsa. Their best drive, of course, 2 possessions ago, 9 plays, 53 yards, and that field goal from Judah Dorgan, their only points on the board. This is a team that knows how to score, at least historically. Nickens will bomb it, has a man wide open down the left seam. That's a way to start a comeback. A big catch for Corey Jones.
If Tulsa wants to get themselves back in the game, Deacon Nickens needs to air it out, and he finds Corey Jones deep down the center of the field.
He was their best receiver a week ago with 3 catches for 79 yards and a touchdown in that big win over Queen City. And another big catch for him there today. He's got 2 deep catches, 4 catches now unofficially for 71. That one went for 34 yards, and suddenly Tulsa's in business.
Well, that's what they need. Quick strikes. They're getting down to crunch time. There's 8:50 left to go in the 4th quarter. They're down by 2 scores. They need to move the ball, and Corey Jones is the guy.
He's only thrown 10 touchdowns all season. Can he change that? They will give it to Robinson. He's stopped up for no gain by Dominguez.
Great play, Big Sexy in that front four with Raymond Bone Crusher Jones. They've come to play tonight, and they've done a fine job containing Sanzo Robinson.
Your pal Raymond Jones has been consistently the best member of this Florida front seven. He had two sacks and 8 tackles for loss coming into today. Both of those were the team high. Now Nickens will throw out to the right side, caught by Robinson out of the backfield, tries to throw the stiff arm, and he gets his heels out of bounds. Stopped up 1-on-1 by Davidson.
Yeah, it's a pickup of 4 yards by Sanzo Robinson, but when it's late in the game, they need to open it up a little bit more. This conservative offense was great to come out, to start the game, to try to set the tone, to protect the ball, to limit the turnovers, but now we're deep into the game. They need to take more shots like they did to Corey Jones. We need to see more of that out of this Tulsa offense.
I mentioned those 4 sacks last week against Tom Rahman. Linebacker Eric Hammer had 2.5, lest we forget. First sacks of his career. Nickens bullets it over the middle in the vicinity of Eric Hammer, and it's caught for a first down by Gabriel Manning. Evan Carroll makes the stop.
Gabriel Manning, you see the incredible hands that he has. Great catch. The ball was thrown a little bit far ahead of him, but when he caught it, was able to extend it over the yardage to gain, and they pick up the first down that was so desperately needed.
We said just 2 catches for 19 yards. Probably the worst offensive game of the season for Manning last week. Better for him here today as Nickens links up with Robinson out of the backfield again. And he steps out of bounds. We've seen this a couple of times. There's nobody within 3 yards of him that time, Mike.
Yeah, that's a tough play by Deacon Nickens. He needs to throw Robinson a better pass. Had he let him a little bit more, his momentum would have probably been able to take him for at least 7 or 8 yard gain. There was a lot of room, but he threw it too far to the left, throwing it sideways, and it forced Robinson to go out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage.
At least the clock stopped temporarily while they reset the play. From midfield, Nickens under pressure as a quick hitter to the far side, caught again by Gabriel Manning on a quick curl route. He picks up just 2. Nice one-on-one tackle and a shimmy from Eric Hammer, who's feeling it today.
Yeah, Eric Hammer, the linebacker, they were sitting in nickel coverage and only allowed Manning to find the opening for a short gain.
Scott Johnson went off for Las Vegas last week, the best game of his rookie season, well over 130 rushing yards. Best game of his career so far to this point. Sanzo Robinson against the same Florida defense, less than 50 rushing yards. Nickens, one pump fake, now has a man over the middle, caught at the sticks by DJ Hume. Nice link up, stopped there again by Eric Hammer, but Tulsa moves the chains with a pickup of 14.
DJ Hume, he doesn't really get involved behind Manning and Corey Jones. That's his 17th catch on the year, but it's a big one right here with just under 6.5 left to go. He caught it for the first down, spun around, that pulled him back, and then he spun back around again, and he gets the yardage they need.
Adam Jones, the nickelback, was also there on the stop against DJ Humes. They bring out the extra defensive back. 1st and 10 from the 37. Nickens off 1 foot, bullets it. What a catch. Anthony Mosley, the tight end. What a link up that time. Off of a pirouetting back foot. Mosley with a big time play.
You see the strength of Deacon Nickens, the lefty, launched it as he rolls away from the Big Sexy who tried to dive at his legs, and he threw it off of 1 foot, and what a touch he has to get it into Mosley.
Second catch of the day for the tight end, Anthony Mosley, one of the more used tight ends in the league, and 1 touchdown to his credit as well. First down inside the red zone go the Desperados. Sanzo Robinson up the middle, picks up maybe 1. Hit there by Deontay White. You get a look at him there, the backup defensive tackle.
Good job by Deontay White to stop Sanzo Robinson just for a 1 yard gain. But Tulsa really needs to pick it up. They're down 2 scores. The clock's ticking away. This drive's taking a lot of time. They got to start taking some shots into the end zone.
Longest drive of the day in terms of plays and yards for the Desperados. 2nd and 9 from the 19. Another pump fake from Nickens. Wrist pass. That could have been picked, going for Manning. Pressure applied by number 48, Adam Jones, the nickelback. Good coverage, 3rd down.
Wow, that pump fake for Deacon Nickens has worked so well, but he did not fool the rookie Adam Jones on that. If Jones had been able to pick that off, he would have taken it back to the house, and that could have been all she wrote.
Good, varied guy in his rookie season. The corner has a half sack and a pass deflection to his name. 3rd and 9. Critical play here for Tulsa. Nickens has time. Blasted over the middle. Swatted down. One-on-one coverage in the back of the end zone, and Ryan Tobin knocks it away.
Wow, Ryan Tobin, did you see how high he got up for that? Two-handed, like he was going up for the slam dunk, and he slams that pass down to the ground.
8th pass deflection of the season for Ryan Tobin. He's now in the top 10 in the league in that. He's also top 15 in the league in interceptions and 25th all time with 33 career picks. So one of 20 or so players in the league that has a defensive touchdown that we saw 2 weeks ago. Judah Dorgan on for the field goal for the second time as Tobin and company make the stop. The kick from Dorgan is up and good, officially from 35. His second kick of the day. The kickers are a perfect 6 of 6 in this ball game. Nobody has broached the end zone, and with time winding down, it is a 6-point game again.
If it wasn't for these two kickers, we'd be tied at 0 tonight, Tim. But that's exactly what Tulsa needed. They were down by 2 scores, so whether it was the field goal first and the touchdown second, really doesn't matter. They come away with points, and now it's back to a 1-score game. And I like this decision to kick it deep with 5 left.
I completely agree. Sometimes you see teams opt for the onside too quickly and dig their own grave, if you will. Decent return for Klein out to the 24. Neither kick returner has had a whole lot of action so far here today. Stopped by Corian Kenny, the reserve defensive back. So now, Mike, your prescription for success that we've seen from Florida all game. They love to milk the clock with these short passes. They take the time. J.W. Doyle is having one of the best games of his career. It's set up, you would think, for Florida to be able to waste some time here.
This is exactly the way the Florida Storm wanted this game to go. The script couldn't have been written any better, but now with 5 minutes left to go, they're going to need to pick up a couple of first downs. They're going to have to give some good blocking to Ron Cochran. Doyle's going to have to run behind the center like he has all night long. Excellent job Deontay Stoneville and Claude Luge have done to allow him to get over the century mark, but they need to avoid that critical turnover.
Another one-on-one hit. Majesty stopping J.W. Doyle. Stop me if you've heard that one before. And you're right. I mean, Doyle has been excellent. The offensive line has been excellent. But can Cochran and company avoid the costly turnover, which has killed Florida in the past? Still no giveaways on either side tonight. Doyle up right guard this time. Big hole for J.W. Doyle. First down. Now 4:20 to go in regulation. This clock draining strategy is working so far.
It's been working excellent all night long. That's the only play that Doyle has run right behind the center, the halfback dive, and he picks up a beautiful first down. If he can pick up a couple of more, get it under 2 minutes, force Tulsa to use their timeouts, and Florida can just come away with at least 3 points, I think they might put themselves in line for their 4th victory of the year.
Unofficially over 150 all-purpose yards today for J.W. Doyle. 1st and 10 from the 35. Doyle again with the carry, and he picks up 4. Stop there by number 50, Kyron Hill, the other outside linebacker here for Tulsa.
J.W. Doyle, he's carried the ball unofficially 24 times, 125 yards. That's a little over 5 yards a carry. Right there, he picks up 4, and that works just fine.
That is exactly what the doctor ordered, an average of about 5 yards per carry, as you said. He comes into today averaging about 3.5, which is bottom half in the league among starting tailbacks. One of the best games of his career to try to will Florida to a win in a game which they have not scored a single touchdown. Now 3.5 to go. Again, the give to Doyle, and Majesty blows him up again with the forearm shiver. He stopped short of the stick somehow.
Big hit by Majesty, forcing Doyle just inches short of the first down marker. This is going to be a big play for Tulsa. If they can stop him here, they give themselves a chance to get the ball back with just under 3 minutes left to go. This is a big play.
Just looked it up, second time the season that J.W. Doyle's crossed the century mark. They will give it to him again on 3rd and inches. And he gets it. Barrels through DJ Majesty. These two have gone toe-to-toe all game long, and in what might be the most critical play of the game,
Deion Hawkins is going to throw the challenge flag. He's got to throw the challenge flag. What has he got to lose? He's got to throw the red flag on that play.
Nothing to lose, you're right. It looked good to me. Lowered the shoulder, looked like the ball was across the line, and I guess Hawkins agrees.
Wow.
They're going to just take it. 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning still left for Tulsa. They've got the time. Cochran will waste as much of it as he can. 5 seconds on the play clock. 2:20 to go in regulation. Again, the give to Doyle. Up right guard this time, and he stopped up for a gain of about 1.5.
You'd like to see them throw the challenge flag. I would have liked to see R6-2 at least take a look at it. You never know, but unfortunately they let the play stand, and we're down to the 2-minute warning.
Career game for J.W. Doyle, over 150 all-purpose yards for the first time this season. 2 minutes left in regulation. Florida on top by 6. Welcome back to the eye in not so sunny South Florida. Nighttime setting, the first game of our Sunday Night Football doubleheader here across the Simulation Football League Network. Tim Hackett and Mike and Proder here with you live. Benji Matson and Cameron Irvine working hard behind the scenes. J.W. Doyle with the carry up right guard this time. Tulsa will use its first timeout and a pickup of 5.
It's been all about Doyle dominance. He's been the player of the game, and boy, has he deserved it. This guy has been a workhorse. He's up to just 20. He's up to 28 carries, just under 30. I wouldn't be surprised if they give him the ball 2 more times.
We mentioned Majesty Rial and Kane Vasquez, the big 3 on defense for Tulsa. All 3 of those guys are top 20 in the league in tackles. No other team has more than 2 in the top 20. They've all been factored in here today as they'll give it again to Doyle. He runs right into that linebacking group once again. Rial was on the stop that time for Tulsa. The Desperados get the stop that they critically need, 4th down.
Amazing job by Tulsa, as it looked like Doyle was just ripping off first down after first down, picking up 4 or 5 yards a tote, but they do what they need to do. Let's see if Agrippa can pin them back, but either way, 1:55 with 1 timeout, certainly doable.
So here comes Marcus Agrippa. Proponents of the punter in the SFL will be watching this closely. Line of scrimmage is just inside the 50, and the return man, Manning, will let it bounce and roll into the end zone. That is a tough break. Another net of about 29 for Agrippa. Not been a perfect day for him, but at the same time, you keep it away from Gabriel Manning. Like we said, 2 punt returns for a touchdown last week. He's got 4 now in his career, by far the most in the SFL.
Unfortunate for Agrippa, that ball just rolled over the goal line. I think the nose maybe have gotten into the end zone, but Tulsa catches the break they need. They start from the 20. They got to go about 45 yards to get in Judah Dorgan field goal range. Actually, they need the touchdown, excuse me. No more field goals from Judah Dorgan or Ethan Sneed.
Here goes Sanzo Robinson, a decent start for him. He picks up 6. You're right, Mike. We have not seen a touchdown all game. Tulsa needs one here to have a chance. 90 seconds left in regulation. Here goes Robinson, and a big hole for Sanzo up the middle, stopped by Tobin at the 35.
Sanzo Robinson, he's found it very, very difficult to run against his front 4. They got to keep moving the ball 6-7 yards a clip, but not that time.
That won't help. He runs right into Raymond Jones for a loss of 1.5.
The clock keeps ticking away. They got to get it in the air.
Florida just now getting set against a 3-man rush. Now they will add a 4th man on the line. Robinson again runs right into the defensive line once again. John Neville's with another stop right on the line of scrimmage, and the Desperados will have to use their final timeout.
Really confused with what is going on right now with the Tulsa Desperados offense. They're on the 20-yard line. They're down by a touchdown. They start running. They can't keep running the ball. They got to let Deacon Nickens air it out.
Time is running out. Only 65 seconds left in regulation time. Now no timeouts left for Deion Hawkins, Deacon Nickens, and the Desperados. 3rd and 11. Nickens will bomb it down the left sideline. Bobbled and caught somehow. What a catch.
Unbelievable acrobatic catch. Was that the tight end? Unbelievable catch.
Somehow it was caught out there. Might have been Manning, actually. I'm not sure, but either way, they get out to the 45. It's a gain of 13. It was Gabriel Manning. Out across, actually, check it out to the Florida 45-yard line. So add another 10, 23 yards through the air that time for Manning.
What have they been waiting for to take shots down the field? They ran it with Sanzo Robinson 3 times in a row. Then they finally take a shot through the air, and you see the result.
That's how it goes, and so Nickens will spike the ball. 50 seconds left in regulation from the 45-yard line, down by 6. Robinson sidecar left, 4 wides. Nickens will swing it out to Robinson, and that play fails again, Mike. And Deion Hawkins might need to work on recalibrating that this week in practice. Robinson goes out of bounds for a loss of 1.
There used to be a commentator, John Madden. We all know him, and he'd say, I never understand it when they throw it for none yards.
That was even worse than none, somehow.
A loss of 1.
Yeah, I mean, even I can do that math. Nickens getting set. He's low, ready for the snap. Same formation. Robinson sidecar left. Nickens will now bomb it deep down the left sideline. Knocked away. One-on-one coverage. Manning against the 8th-year veteran, Evan Carroll, and Carroll wins the battle. 4th down.
Evan Carroll comes up huge. The man from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, gets his hand up there to knock that one away. And that was the shot Nickens was looking to take to Manning. That would have been devastating if he was able to come down with that. But Evan Carroll comes up big.
One of the best corners in SFL history, top 10 all-time in career pass deflections and interceptions. Add another one to the list for Carroll. 4th and ball game here for Nickens. Bombs it up again, looking for Manning. Tipped away again by Evan Carroll. Back-to-back PDs for the 8th-year veteran corner. That is a turnover on downs for Tulsa.
Evan Carroll has just sealed the deal for this Florida Storm to move to 4-4 and bring themselves back to 500. He knew Gabriel Manning was going to get involved. That's the big money guy that they needed to take a shot at. And 2 plays in a row, Carroll comes up huge.
An assist to Ryan Tobin on that play, no doubt about it. And Carroll, frankly, Mike, we talked about the veteran Florida secondary, but stat-wise, the other 3 guys here for Florida, Tobin, Francis, and Davidson in no particular order, they all have better stats so far this season than do Evan Carroll, but he steps up when it matters most with back-to-back pass deflections against one of the best wide receivers in the league, Gabriel Manning. They stop Tulsa in their tracks, and Ron Cochran can just knee it out.
Outstanding job by Evan Carroll as he was put to the test. This guy's turned his backyard of his home into a registered wildlife habitat and a butterfly sanctuary, Tim. And boy, on those 2 plays, was he able to float up there to knock those away.
Knows a thing or two about preservation is what you're saying, and this time he's able to preserve this 6-point lead. No touchdowns in the game. 6 total field goals. Florida is going to get the bounce back win. They move to 4-4 and stay alive in the playoff push. The final from the eye, Florida 12, Tulsa 6.
What a game by these 2 teams defensively. I thought this was going to be a shootout in the sun, and boy, did we just get the opposite. But it came down to the very last play where Evan Carroll was put to the test. He came up big, but the story of today, yes, the field goal kickers, but really J.W. Doyle, who was able to control the ground game, 137 yards on 29 carries. He's my player of the game.
There's really no other choice, is there? I mean, Florida had so many good options on defense. A lot of guys had impressive plays. Obviously, you just saw 2 big-time pass deflections in a row from Evan Carroll. DJ Majesty had one of the best games of his excellent career on the other side in a losing effort for Tulsa. But frankly, nobody else on offense stole the show. I mean, forget stealing the show, even had consistent efforts. Corey Jones with 2 big catches from Deacon Nickens, but that's really about it. If you got to look to an offensive player, it's got to be J.W. Doyle. Here's one of the catches from Jones.
Yeah, no question about it, Tim. J.W. Doyle, when you look at the numbers, he was the guy that put up the biggest stat line. The receivers for Ron Cochran, both of these quarterbacks, Nickens and Cochran, the gunslinger and the riverboat gambler, didn't really take too many chances, especially coming into the game. We thought this was going to be very high scoring. The over-under was 48.5. Didn't even come close to that, so if you had the under, congratulations to you. And, you can see right here, J.W. Doyle is going to come up on the board, but what a performance by both of these defenses. Give credit to the defensive line, Dominguez, Tamaello, and Jones. They did a heck of a job to give this victory to the Storm.
Tremendous defensive effort from both sides. 0 touchdowns permitted here tonight. Mike and Proto, your final thoughts.
To all the fans watching from coast to coast and around the world, thank you for allowing the SFL into your living rooms. Now allow the SFL into your dreams.
Pleasure to see you this week, my friend. Best of luck to you as always, and much love to you, and much love to our statistician, Benji Matson, our producer, Cameron Irvine. For Mike and Broda, I've been Tim Hackett. We'll see you next time. Until then, so long.